6 o'clock, a very good evening to you. This is News at Prime. I'm Ngcobo. Thank you for joining us. U.S. Ambassador to South Africa, Reuben Brigety, has accused the country of supplying weapons to Russia for its war in Ukraine. He made the claims today while outlining the outcomes of a meeting with a delegation sent by President Cyril Ramaphosa to clarify relations with Moscow. Brigety further hit out at the ANC over a resolution document on international relations, which he says it failed to recognize and appreciate Washington's investment in South Africa. Newzroom Afrika's politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo wraps up events so far.
How you see us will determine how we see you.
A diplomatic fallout between South Africa and the United States is brewing. America says unless it sees a meaningful response to what it says are profound concerns, a lot could be in jeopardy. U.S. Ambassador to South Africa Reuben Brigety began his briefing on Thursday by reminding the country of the level of commitment his nation has shown towards us, including the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which is unreciprocated. AGOA is up for renewal in 2025.
Another example of the strong partnership between the United States and South Africa is South Africa's participation in the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, which provides South Africa with unreciprocated, duty-free access to the United States of America, the second largest single sovereign market in the world. That trade last year was worth $21 billion to the economy of South Africa. The benefits that South Africa receives from AGOA are roughly equal to the benefits of the entire continent of Africa, the rest of the entire continent of Africa combined.
Brigety insists that the docking of a Russian vessel, Lady R, in Simonstown in early December last year was for the sole purpose of arming that country with weapons to continue waging its war with Ukraine. The U.S. Ambassador to South Africa says this is the perfect example of not walking the talk.
The arming of Russia by South Africa with the vessel that landed in Simonstown is fundamentally unacceptable. We are confident that weapons were loaded onto that vessel, and I would bet my life on the accuracy of that assertion.
And as far as the ANC is concerned, the high-level South African delegation was probed about what the U.S. believes is outright belligerence towards the Western nation, which they say is unjustified when looking at the history of relations between the two countries. Brigety quoted paragraphs 19 to 24 of the Building a Better World section in the ANC's 55th National Conference resolutions document, where the governing party says the Russia-Ukraine war is primarily a battle between the U.S. and the U.S.-led NATO to challenge any country that threatens its hegemony and other interests.
We cannot understand the level of hostility of the ruling party towards the United States, given the openness and unprecedented generosity we provide to South Africa, to our market, which we have done for now nearly a quarter of a century. And with regard to neutrality and non-alignment, we're not asking or telling South Africa to do anything. All we are simply requesting is that they be true to what they say they have been, that they be true to their own principles of non-alignment.
Meanwhile, as calls to move away from the U.S. dollar as the dominant currency across the globe grow, Brigety seems to have issued what could be interpreted as a veiled threat against South Africa and how it will engage with these pronouncements when it hosts the BRICS summit in August this year.
Our officials expressed quite serious concern of the explicit articulation of the BRICS configuration as a, quote, counterpoint to the G7, which does not sound like non-alignment or neutrality to us. Of course, South Africa is free to choose its diplomatic and economic partners however it chooses. And so is the United States of America. This is not a matter of bullying, as I often hear in this context. It's not a matter of threatening. This is how any relationship works.
It's unclear how the South African government will respond, but it's abundantly certain that its non-aligned stance when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine conflict has upset one of its biggest trading partners. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Tshwane.